First off, we have Shawn and Camila. While they have been friends for years, it wasn't until July 2019 when Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello announced they were dating. The couple had already collaborated on several hit songs together, including their smash hit Senorita, and it seems as if working on music so frequently is what eventually led them to form a relationship. But since going public with their romance, fans haven't been convinced that their pairing is genuine, with many speculating whether the whole thing was just one big PR stunt to further promote their solo careers. Given that they've had a lot of success with their collaborations, pairing up and telling the world that a relationship came out of their frequent studio sessions isn't that hard to believe, but fans have a lot of reasons to believe this romance is nothing but smoke and mirrors. Once their second single, Senorita, was released in June 2019, both singers appeared very affectionate towards each other, both on stage and behind the scenes. The following weeks, Camila and Shawn were seen everywhere, sharing plenty of date nights as their song continued to climb the charts, eventually reaching the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 and selling well over 4 million units in the US alone. By July, the pair went public with their romance, but it wasn't long before people started speculating whether their supposed love for one another was a PR stunt. Fans on social media were quick to voice their opinions about the news of Camila and Shawn dating, with one person saying, quote, "Which was the worst attempt at a fake relationship PR stunt to promote a collaboration? Zed dating Selena Gomez or Shawn dating Camila?" Another writing, "Are you guys done promoting Senorita yet?" Next up, we have Lindsay Lohan and Samantha Ronson, an English DJ. Perhaps Samantha wanted a little taste of fame when she got into a tumultuous relationship with Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay and Samantha made headlines during their relationship, which went down in absolute flames in 2009. Videos of their dramatic fight even hit the internet, including one where they tearfully fought outside of Samantha's home. Then, in a tweet, Lindsay accused Samantha of cheating on her. Quote, "Being cheated on does wonders to you. I'm doing this publicly because you and your friends call People magazine. So, you win. You broke my heart. Now go away. I loved you," she tweeted, adding, "Please leave me alone and stop staying in the room below me. You've woken me and my mother up. Go to bed. Keep cheating. You win." Next up, we have Jesse James and Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock was already one of the world's highest paid actresses before they started dating. In 2013, she got paid $70 million for the movie Gravity. So I'm sure ex Jesse James wanted in on those riches. Jesse and Sandra Bullock's almost 5-year marriage went down in flames when the world found out he cheated on her with multiple women. And as of 2017, it sounds like he still doesn't think it's such a big deal. In general, both women and men cheat. It's part of life, he told the Daily Mail. We have a feeling that Sandra would disagree. Next, we have Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. Tori and Dean have had a pretty rocky relationship, and all the ups and downs of their more than 10-year marriage have been broadcast for the entire world to see thanks to their reality stardom. In 2014, Dean famously cheated on Tori, and the woman he cheated with, Emily Goodhand, spilled all the details in an interview with Us Weekly. Dean later ended up going to rehab for intimacy addiction, we'll call it, and he and Tori are still married to this day. The one-night stand with Emily Goodhand allegedly took place after a group of friends met up at a bar in Toronto, where Dean was on a promotional tour for his hosting job on the show Chopped. Emily was a friend of a friend, and the two were introduced. Her occupation was not disclosed. "He seems like a cool guy," Emily said. "I thought he was very handsome." They became friendly over an 8-hour meal at a restaurant, sitting side by side. "We were just having fun and hanging out," Emily added. When heading towards the bar at his hotel, he was flirting, she added, and she explained that she was attracted to him because his personality was, quote, "very charming." She explained later that she felt she could trust him because he opened up to her and was talking about his kids and his work with her. She also said that they knew a lot of the same people, so we had that in common, she says. During drinks at his Fairmont hotel, Dean did not openly flirt with Emily as there were other friends around them, but later the two exchanged phone numbers and he slipped his card key with his room number into her purse. "We just looked at each other," Emily said. After slyly leaving with friends and making it seem as if she was going home, Emily instead went to Dean's hotel room. At first he wasn't there, but then she texted him and he showed up within seconds. "He wanted to make me feel good," she explained, after he flooded her with compliments. Then the time for talking was over. Next, we have Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. After less than 4 years of marriage and a reality show, Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica, on MTV, the couple found themselves in the middle middle of an extremely public divorce. At first, Jessica Simpson and Nick separated, and then in 2005, Jessica filed for divorce. During a 2015 interview on CNBC's Closing Bell, she revealed that her biggest financial mistake was marrying Nick, which makes sense since she had to pay him $12 million thanks to no prenup. The biggest money mistakes? I don't know. For some reason, I thought of my first marriage, she said, according to MSNBC. Next up, we have Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore. This relationship was mutually beneficial as it kept both actors relevant through various tabloid headlines. Their relationship and marriage were super high profile, mainly because of their 15-year age difference, but it all came to an end in 2011 after 6 years of marriage, reportedly because Ashton cheated on Demi with Sarah Leal, according to Us Weekly. In 2018, Ashton revealed on Dax Shepard's podcast he didn't eat for a week after their split. Right after I got divorced, I went to the mountains for a week by myself, he said. I did no food, no drink, just water and tea. I took all my computers away, my phone, my everything. I was there by myself, so there was no talking. I just had a notepad, a pen, and water and tea for a week. Next, we have Ariana and Pete Davidson. The world was shocked when just weeks after they started dating, Ariana and Pete announced their engagement, complete with a ring and matching tattoos. But it didn't last long. By October, it was over. And as Ariana told Vogue in the August 2019 issue, their whole relationship was, quote, highly unrealistic. I met Pete and it was an amazing distraction, she says. It was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him, and I didn't know him. A couple months after their split, Ariana appeared to take a jab at her ex-fiance, writing on Twitter, quote, for somebody who claims to hate relevancy, you sure love clinging to it, huh? Moments later, Grande tweeted, thank you, next. The mysterious diss came just a few hours after Saturday Night Live released a promo video for that weekend's episode in which Pete Davidson jokingly proposed to singer Maggie Rogers. Hey Maggie, I'm Pete. You want to get married? Davidson says in the clip as Jonah Hill cringes while standing in between them. Next, we have Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. When Billy Bob and Angelina first got together in 2000, they were known for their quick, passionate love and the fact that they wore vials of each other's blood around their necks. Not weird at all. But they only stayed married for 3 years, and in 2018, he told HFPA in Conversation podcast that they would have stayed together if what they wanted out of life wasn't so vastly different. We just had different lifestyles, he says. Hers is a global lifestyle and mine is an agoraphobic lifestyle. So that's the only reason we're probably not still together maybe. There was a different path in life that we wanted to take. Now let's discuss Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Nicole and Tom were married for 11 years, and when they divorced in 2001, Tom got custody of both of their children. In 2019, reports from the Daily Mail surfaced claiming that Tom was banning Nicole from their 24-year-old son Connor's wedding. Rumor has it that Tom's faith in Scientology is what made them split up, but Nicole told Who magazine she has no regrets. There were times following the divorce when I thought, wow, this is the loneliest existence. But with Tom, it was a fantastic decade, she told the magazine. I wish all the people that have been involved in my life well, because it's very important to me to be in a place of forgiveness and love. Lastly, we have Miley Cyrus and Luke Hemsworth. Fans think they initially got together just to promote their new movie. Cyrus and Hemsworth met in 2009 on the set of The Last Song, the movie adaptation of the popular Nicholas Sparks novel. Shortly after filming Wrapped, the two confirmed their romance when they had a PDA-filled goodbye at the airport. Actor Alex Emanuel, who watched their, quote, full-on makeout, said the ultra-romantic exchange was like a scene out of an old movie where the guy is getting on a train and they're saying their goodbyes. After an on and off relationship for 10 years and the actors getting married, they finally split up in 2019. Miley's rep exclusively confirmed to People that the couple had split up. Liam and Miley have agreed to separate at this time, the rep said in a statement. The rep continued in the statement, ever evolving, changing as partners and individuals. They have decided that this is what is best while they both focus on themselves and careers. They still remain dedicated parents to all of their animals while lovingly taking this time apart. Please respect their process and their privacy. 3 days later, Hemsworth addressed the separation in an Instagram post, writing, just a quick note to say that Miley and I have recently separated and I wish her nothing but health and happiness going forward.
At number 10, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. I remember when Selena and Justin were the talk of the town. Everyone was obsessed with their relationship, asking them questions about it, whether they were together on the red carpet or alone on a shopping trip. They started dating in 2011 when they were still teenagers, and from that point they had a rocky time together. They were on and off again for a while before finally ending things for good in 2018 when Hailey Baldwin came along. Already people were aware of how toxic Selena and Justin's relationship was, simply because of how many times they had public breakups and makeups, but in early 2020 Selena came forward to talk more in depth about their relationship and how she experienced mistreatment. Selena said that she was, quote, a victim of certain abuse, saying that what she felt was emotional mistreatment from Justin. She also went on to say that it took her a long time to find strength in her experiences and to shake her, quote, victim mentality. Justin never released a statement in response, but in late 2019 he did open up about his actions in past relationships, saying that he became, quote, resentful and disrespectful to women and angry. We don't know at which point this started happening in their relationship, but it's good to see that they are both doing better since moving on. At number 9, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now, having a list of toxic celebrity relationships, you already know we're going to include Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's tumultuous relationship. A lot was uncovered during their massive court case last year that basically exposed Amber for having hurt Johnny while they were together. We heard stories about Amber severing Johnny's finger with a glass bottle, many of the fights they had, and even recordings of Amber antagonizing and hurting Johnny. There were instances of physical abuse as well as verbal and emotional, showing the world how toxic things really were. We found out about how Amber had been cheating on Johnny and how she allegedly went out of her way to outshine him in their industry, always being ready to make big headlines to overshadow him. When one of the recordings showing Amber admitting to hurting her husband were released, it said that it, quote, exposes that Ms. Heard perpetrated serial violence against Mr. Depp. This went on for far too long, showing us that the toxicity ran deep and it made a mess of everything. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you are enjoying it so far, and also head on over to our gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some chill gameplay vibes. At number 8, Tina and Ike Turner. Ike and Tina Turner were a powerhouse couple in the eyes of the media as well as fans, but behind the scenes things were very messy and toxic. They first met while Tina was still a teenager, and they soon hit it off and started performing together. Soon their duo catapulted them to stardom, bringing them a lot of success, but because they were so close, things got very toxic. They got married in 1962 and stayed together for the following decade, but Tina was living her life in pain. In her book, Tina wrote about how Ike was an abusive partner, saying, quote, he threw hot coffee in my face, giving me third-degree burns. He used my nose as a punching bag so many times that I could taste blood running down my throat when I sang. He broke my jaw and I couldn't remember what it was like to not have a black eye, end quote. Things got so bad that Tina wanted to end her life, but thankfully she survived her attempt, and she used her survival as fuel to get the strength to leave Ike and this toxic life behind. They eventually went their separate ways, with Tina becoming a bigger star and becoming an advocate, raising awareness about abuse. At number 7, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. American Horror Story stars Emma Roberts and Evan Peters had a very tumultuous relationship that unfolded in the public eye. Though they both moved on, there was a time when their toxic relationship took over their lives. They started dating in 2012, and they had their share of makeups, breakups, ups and downs until they officially ended things in 2019. Their relationship had its faults. People said that their attitudes towards each other would change a lot, going from having a lovely time together to not speaking to one another for days. Sources also said that while working together on American Horror Story, they would make life on set a living hell. An insider revealed that, quote, as soon as the director yells cut, Emma and Evan are making out. That is, if they're not screaming at each other, end quote. In 2013, they had an abuse scandal after Emma was arrested on domestic charges after the couple got into a heated argument. Though the incident left Evan with a bloody nose, they tried to move past it and carry on with their relationship. They weren't at all a good couple, and it's best that they are no longer together. At number 6, Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. One toxic relationship that was broadcast to the world was that between Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. Though the relationship was pretty short-lived, things were still messy, toxic, and very public. The two got together in January 2016, and just a few months later, in April of that year, they announced their engagement. Fast forward to November of 2016, and they welcomed their daughter Dream into the world. Things ended as quickly as they started, and by February of 2017, they announced that they had split after trying to make things work for the sake of their daughter. During their relationship, they showed fans a glimpse into their lives as part of their reality show, Rob and Chyna. During this time, sources said that they fought a lot and their actions were fueled by anger and revenge, and there were even allegations of domestic violence. This toxicity wasn't just exclusive to their relationship, however, as it also bled into the Kardashian family as well. They've been going head to head in legal battles and things have just been rocky ever since, showing that sometimes people really aren't meant to be together. At number 5, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Brangelina used to be one of the hottest celebrity matches in Hollywood. Once upon a time, they were seen as the industry's it couple, having spanned over 10 years and raising many kids together, but their divorce is where things got toxic and messy. When the couple announced they were calling it quits in 2016, a lot of people wondered why, and one of the answers given was because of a dispute that Brad had allegedly had with Angelina about his substance abuse that resulted in Brad getting into an altercation with their oldest son, Maddox. It was alleged that Brad was abusive, and though an investigation cleared him of said allegations, Angie is now saying that she's prepared to show proof that Brad was in fact hurting his family. Recently, Angelina came forward saying that she is willing to offer her children's testimony against Brad as proof, and this could blow the doors off their relationship, giving us more information about how toxic things really were. At number 4, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. With the recent divorce announcement from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, we are finding out more about the demise of their marriage. It turns out they felt that their relationship was crumbling towards the end of last year, and the couple decided to seek different living arrangements, spending time apart as a result of, quote, downright toxicity in their marriage. Though they said they wanted to make things work, according to sources, it reached a point where, quote, bickering turned into nasty blow-ups and confrontations, end quote. They didn't want to expose their kids to this kind of negativity, and they took some time apart, but that time apart is looking to be a lot longer now. After Kanye reportedly blew up at Kim, they were never able to patch things up after that, and so they filed for divorce. Before all of this happened, they seemed to have been on good terms as they supported one another through every bump in the road, but in recent months, their support and good conversation turned cold and apparently evolved into them only speaking when necessary and only talking about menial things like what to have for dinner. I'm wishing them all the best in the days to come as they sort out their affairs. At number 3, Eminem and Kim Ms. When asked about some toxic relationships they know of, a surprising amount of people reference rapper Eminem and his ex-wife Kim Ms. Eminem, whose real name is Marshall Mathers, met Kim in a youth home in 1988 when they were teenagers. From that point, they stayed by each other's side, even living together at his mother's home. From that point until 1999, the two had a rocky relationship, being on and off again. And in 1995, they had a daughter, and later on, they got married. Their wedding took place on June 14, 1999, just before Marshall's first major tour as his career was taking off. Kim said that this tour took the greatest toll on their marriage, saying, quote, when Marshall's tour first started is when his ego went poof. Like he was a god. That's what he thought. I was just told that I should be grateful that he still talks to me. You know how many women throw themselves at him, and I pretty much felt like a piece of crap, end quote. From then, their marriage went downhill as they were met with cheating scandals and mental health struggles. Eventually, they got a divorce in 2000, remarried in 2006, then divorced again, this time ending things for good. They're reportedly still friends, but being in a romantic relationship just was too toxic for them. At number 2, Mel Gibson and Oxana Gregorova. Mel Gibson is probably one of the most hated people in Hollywood. I think it's safe to make that assumption after all the scandals he's been in surrounding his hate for so many people. Mel has been in a toxic relationship before, and many of us are aware of the horrible ways he's treated people, especially his former partner, Oxana Gregorova. The two had a very messy breakup in 2010, and at this time, an audio recording came out that showed Mel yelling at Oxana and saying horrible things to her about her body because he was mad that she allegedly lied to him about having breast implants. In the recording, Mel was heard saying horrible things about how he hated the way she looked, claiming she looked provocative and inappropriate, and even saying that if she were to be taken advantage of, it would be her fault for looking the way she did. This was a nasty, swear word-ridden rant that honestly no one deserves to hear. If this recording didn't paint enough of a toxic picture, then I don't know what would. And finally, at number 1, Mike Tyson and Robin Givens. Back in the late 80s, Mike Tyson was dating model Robin Givens. Shortly after they started dating, Robin announced that she was pregnant with Mike's child, and so he married her to, quote, do the right thing. Mike had given Robin and her mother $15 million in order to get themselves settled in a nice house, and it seemed like Mike took care of them. But after a few months passed, Mike noticed that Robin's pregnancy wasn't progressing, and that's when she told him that she actually had lost a baby months prior and just didn't tell him. He was hurt by this discovery, but still stayed by her side. It wasn't until their famous Barbara Walters interview came out that things really cracked for the couple and things got toxic. The interview was originally supposed to be an exclusive with Mike, but apparently just before getting started, Robin pulled Barbara aside to tell her that she had some things she wanted to say, and then proceeded to speak out about how Mike had allegedly been hurting her, saying that she was being mistreated in the relationship. They soon divorced after, but people believe that the whole truth wasn't uncovered. Sources say that Robin was manipulating Mike and that things had been toxic because of her, but Mike just let it happen. At number 10, Chris Brown and Rihanna. One of the most toxic relationships out there was that between Chris Brown and Rihanna. No one is quick to forget that incident that happened after the pre-Grammys party in 2009. Though they were seen as the industry's it couple, things were far from perfect and were clearly very negative and toxic. On the night before the Grammy Awards, Chris and Rihanna got into a serious physical altercation which left Rihanna hospitalized from her injuries. Chris was labeled as a monster for what he did that night. A police investigation was conducted and Chris pled guilty to felony assault. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 6 months community service. A lot of people believe that he should have been given a harsher sentence because of how severely he hurt his girlfriend, but what do you guys think? Did he deserve more punishment or did he get what he deserved? At number 9, Mariah Carey and James Packer. Apparently, Mariah Carey is a horrible person. In the past, we've heard stories from people who've worked with the singer saying how she is so mean behind the scenes, but apparently the same goes in her romantic relationships as well. Yeah, maybe all she wants for Christmas is you, but at what cost? According to some sources, her relationship with James Packer was the most toxic. She allegedly treated him like garbage, even throwing his personal items, including his laptop, out of the window, all because he played a Beyonce song. Their relationship ended just before they were set to get married because she, quote, wasn't happy with his behavior, but James' management fired back, claiming that Mariah was twisting things. Bottom line is that things were toxic and needed to end. Now before I go any further, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video, and also head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some more awesome content. At number 8, Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. I couldn't imagine the pressure of being an A-list star. The public's eyes are always on you, from your everyday outings to your love life. Having a relationship must also be very difficult when you're famous because everyone feels entitled to having an opinion on your love life. When one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Marilyn Monroe, got married to Joe DiMaggio, it was a very big deal. Everyone thought that the actress and the athlete looked like a beautiful match who were deeply in love, having met and married within a relatively short amount of time. Really, at the time, they were hashtag relationship goals. They got married in a quiet City Hall ceremony in January 1954 and turned a work trip to Japan into their honeymoon, as they had to squeeze their special day in between work engagements. But just 9 months later, their spark had faded and their relationship was over. The problem was that Joe allegedly wanted Marilyn to be a stay-at-home wife, but because Marilyn was at the height of her career and she loved her work, she wouldn't agree to that, and she just wanted to keep working. Joe also apparently had a hard time coming to terms with his wife's public image, being a Hollywood idol, and apparently her famous subway gate scene was the last straw for him. Their marriage ended with Marilyn citing mental cruelty as one of the reasons behind their divorce because of how toxic things had become. She didn't like how her husband refused to support her, and that's just not the kind of energy she needed in her life. At number 7, Kate Moss and Pete Doherty. There are many ways that a relationship can be toxic. It can be more one-sided or it can be mutual. Kate Moss and Pete Doherty's relationship was one that was toxic from both sides. Though they were engaged at some point, they still had their problems. In an interview, Pete once said that with Kate he was, quote, always dodging bullets. He claimed that Kate had a bad temper, saying that she once accused him out of the blue of having an affair and then verbally and physically assaulted him. On the other hand, Kate had a big problem with Pete's substance abuse, demanding that he quit, but also taunting him with substances of her own. They were an on and off again couple who really just weren't good for each other. They kept going back to each other until around 2007, where they decided to stay apart for good. And it was a very toxic situation, but their breakup was probably for the best. At number 6, Saweetie and Quavo. No one really acknowledged it until recently, but singer Saweetie and rapper Quavo had a very toxic relationship. The pair recently announced their breakup, and though it started off looking like a simple case of two people growing apart, soon the public found out that there was more to the story than once thought. Shortly after announcing their breakup, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. The footage showed the two of them in a physical altercation, showing Saweetie trying to strike Quavo, a suitcase being thrown, Quavo falling on top of his girlfriend, and ending with Saweetie limping away. Though this footage was from a year ago, it gave people a different perspective on how their relationship was at the time. Their problems were only just now publicized and sort of exposed the two of them for being toxic. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from this incident, and Quavo issued a statement assuring that he's never abused his girlfriend. Their breakup has caused some drama within Quavo's family, making this a very toxic situation. At number 5, Luan and Tom D'Agostino. Nothing says toxic like reality TV. Everything on those shows are incredibly toxic, so to have one feature a toxic relationship wouldn't really be much of a surprise. Real Housewives of New York cast members Luan and Tom D'Agostino were once a couple whose poor relationship was broadcast to the world. Apparently, everyone in the cast knew about how toxic things were, and some of them actually warned Luan about Tom, saying that he was untrustworthy and that he was still pining after his ex. This complicated things, but they still carried on with their relationship, and the two got married on New Year's Eve in 2016. Towards the end of the show's 8th season, it was revealed that one of the Real Housewives cast members had photos of Tom kissing another woman just days after his and Luan's engagement party. Soon it became apparent to the public that there were some serious troubles in their relationship. Luan and Tom even got into a heated argument in public at a restaurant, which ended with Luan slapping Tom across the face. This toxic relationship and Tom's constant infidelity was never resolved until the very end. They were only married for 7 months, and those were probably some of the most toxic 7 months of their lives. At number 4, Axl Rose and Aaron Everly. Moving on to a toxic relationship from the rock world, we have the tumultuous relationship of Axl Rose and Aaron Everly. Their relationship was very publicized and is one that is certainly ingrained in the rock world. The two met at a party in 1986 while Axl, the frontman for Guns N' Roses, was still an up-and-coming musician, and the two formed an instant connection. Aaron quickly became one of the most important people in Axl's life, becoming the inspiration for the song Sweet Child of Mine. Despite being a beloved and good-looking match on the outside, they actually had a very toxic relationship, but that didn't stop them from getting married in 1990 in a Las Vegas ceremony. The toxicity started even before they were married because, according to Aaron, Axl allegedly threatened to harm himself if she didn't marry him, so already things were off to a pretty rocky start. Their marriage didn't really last very long, as it was annulled in 1991, just 9 months after getting married. Fast forward to 1994, and Aaron filed a civil suit against Axl where she alleged that she had been a victim of citing Axl as her attacker. Things have been messy since their split, as Aaron has auctioned off memorabilia that she had kept from her days with Axl and the band, looking to rid herself of any trace of her old ties with them, showing us that things really were quite toxic back then. At number 3, Elizabeth Taylor and Conrad Hilton. Elizabeth Taylor was one of Hollywood's most memorable icons. Though she was incredibly successful in her professional life, her love life was not. Because she was married 8 times, she had some regrettable relationships, and some of them caused scandals, but others were just downright toxic. One of her shortest and most toxic marriages was to hotel heir Conrad Hilton. The pair were only married for 205 days before getting their marriage annulled after feeling neglected and abused by her new husband. This was her first marriage, as she was only 18 at the time of her wedding, but shortly after they tied the knot, Liz started to notice how indifferent Conrad was to her, recalling how she would feel hurt by the abusive language her husband was using towards her. During their honeymoon, the two also reportedly fought a lot and spent more time apart than they did together. So things were off to a rough start from the very beginning. Eventually, Liz saw that nothing was going to change with Conrad, and so she made the steps towards ending their marriage. Liz ended up winning her divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty. She also refused alimony and took back her maiden name. Essentially, she erased any connection she had to Conrad, almost pretending like it never happened. She later told news sources that her idea of marriage was naive, and so she regretted her decision to marry him in the first place. At number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Ojani Noah. Jennifer Lopez has been in her fair share of high-profile relationships. She's even been married 3 times. Now, although those marriages didn't really work out, they ended on okay-ish terms, except for her marriage to Ojani Noah, because that ish was just toxic. Their marriage lasted less than a year, but their relationship after their divorce was where things got super toxic. Ojani was seemingly only in the relationship to reap the benefits of being with a celebrity. He spent the time that they were together documenting much of his life with her, as well as her habits behind the scenes, preparing them for his own tea spill, if you will. This relationship was doomed from the start, but J.Lo just didn't see that until it was too late. I mean, you would think that your partner isn't trying to use you for money and clout, so why would you really be expecting that? After their divorce, Noah tried leaking intimate photos and videos of the couple on their honeymoon, and he even had plans to release a tell-all book about the singer. It was almost like he was a behind-the-scenes paparazzi. J.Lo actually ended up suing Oxana in 2009 for $10 million, citing that the videos he released, as well as the book and movie deals, violated an agreement that they had which prohibited him from exposing the singer's life. That is some very toxic behavior. Using someone for your own personal gain is never a good thing. Finally, at number 1, Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson. Recently, actress Evan Rachel Wood came forward about her extremely toxic relationship with singer Marilyn Manson, as she cited years of manipulation, brainwashing, and pain, outing the singer as her abuser. She opened up about some of the things that she endured and witnessed, like starvation, sleep deprivation, threats, invasion of privacy, as well as anti-Semitism and racism. Sometimes this toxicity would bleed into other people's lives, as Wood alleged that Manson made threats against her loved ones as well. Manson's toxicity was apparent even after their relationship ended, as he said in an interview shortly after their relationship ended that he tried calling Evan while harming himself and then blamed her for his actions, saying, quote, "I wanted to show her the pain she put me through. It was like, I want you to physically see what you've done." Like, that is very disgusting behavior, and it hurts my soul to know that anyone has ever experienced this kind of behavior. From enduring verbal and physical violence, Evan has now spoken out about her experiences, and Manson has lost everything. As a result of the allegations against him, he was dropped by his music label and agent and is under investigation by the LA Sheriff's Department. The actress also condemned the music industry and his label for covering up the many instances of abuse, saying that they were aware of the circumstances behind the scenes. Evan also isn't the only person to come forward with similar allegations. Now the fight for justice is on, and we are hoping for the best for Evan, as well as everyone who bravely came forward and those still healing from the trauma. At number 10, Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Justin Timberlake was exposed this year after the truth came out about his toxic relationship and breakup with Britney Spears back in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released recently looks into the way the pop star was shown in the media, from paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like a villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his career. The media then went on a frenzy, blaming and shaming her when she really didn't deserve it. People's eyes were opened into just how toxic their relationship and subsequent breakup was, and a lot of sympathy has been given towards Britney as the truth has finally come out about the whole thing. For a long time, people saw the pop star as the villain, but now we've learned that she was really just a victim of a toxic relationship. At number 9, Ariel Winter. Modern Family star Ariel Winter has had a toxic relationship with her family, and things were so toxic, in fact, that she was emancipated from them. Her family drama was outed as the court hearing for her emancipation trial went public back in 2012, and it showed the public how she was treated, specifically by her mother. It was alleged that Ariel's mom interfered with her daughter's work because of her, quote, harassment and interference. There were reports of her mom not feeding Ariel and dressing her in a way that was inappropriate for someone her age. It was also reported that Ariel's mom had repeatedly laid hands on her child as well. There were a number of testimonies that painted a toxic image of Ariel's family, and she was eventually granted emancipation after a 3-year battle. Some of the most heartbreaking toxic relationships are those between family, because they're the ones who are supposed to love you the most, but they can also hurt you the most. Before I carry on with the video, I would just like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video because it really does help us out a lot. At number 8, Chad Johnson and Evelyn Lozada. Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, and ex-wife Evelyn Lozada were only married for 2 months, but so much toxic drama happened in that short amount of time to permanently damage their relationship. Their relationship had been intense for a long time, but it wasn't until after they got married that the world learned just how toxic it was. After dating for less than a year, the two got married in the 4th of July ceremony in 2012, but just 2 months later, there came an incident that shattered their relationship. Evelyn recalled finding a receipt in Chad's car for items that prompted the idea that Chad was cheating. The two fought, and it all ended with Chad seriously injuring his wife. Chad was later arrested for battery and domestic violence, and they divorced shortly after the incident. Evelyn did an interview after the ordeal where she opened up about her feelings on the situation.
You know, I knew that he was lying, and I told him, I never forget telling him, I said, I'm not sticking by you through this. I don't care if my marriage is the laughing stock.
And the two eventually went their separate ways. Overall, the relationship burnt out really quickly, but it was fueled by toxicity, and in the end, no one really deserves to have that in their lives. At number 7, Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose were married for some time after tying the knot in 2013, but after 14 months of marriage, things got toxic, they divorced, and it was a nasty breakup. There were allegations of cheating, and custody of their son was also up for debate. Years later, Amber Rose opened up about her brief marriage to Wiz Khalifa and the toxicity around it, and spoke about her regrets concerning their relationship. She once said how she regretted getting married when she did because they didn't give themselves enough time to grow in their relationship, and this was one of the things that contributed to the hostility. Amber also said that she felt as though they would have had more success in their marriage had they gotten married later in life, calling their wedding a mistake at the time. They took some time and have grown to be friends, so maybe this toxicity has been forgotten about by them, but not so much by their longtime fans. At number 6, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Here we have yet another toxic Kardashian relationship. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how Kim and Kanye's relationship was toxic, but here's another one that contained a bombshell cheating scandal. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have had a very difficult relationship. Things were apparently toxic from the very beginning, since it was believed that Tristan was cheating on his ex with Khloe when they first got together, so the infidelity in their relationship was apparent from the get-go. Things were going pretty okay for a while, with Khloe even getting pregnant with Tristan's baby, but in April 2018, just shortly after their daughter True was born, photos of Tristan appearing to cheat were leaked, and TMZ even leaked footage from 2017 showing Tristan kissing women at a club. This was a huge deal, especially as this all came out around the birth of their daughter, but what surprised a lot of people is how quickly Khloe got over it. Things mostly died down after a few weeks, but later in 2019, more cheating allegations came out, detailing how he had been cheating on Khloe again, this time with their longtime family friend Jordyn Woods. This was supposedly the nail in their relationship's coffin, but now in 2021, there have been reports saying Khloe and Tristan are back together, and that Khloe has mostly gotten over his infidelity. This doesn't look good and really just looks like a toxic mess, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with them. At number 5, Beyonce and JayZ. Even though they are one of the industry's most famous couples, that doesn't mean they aren't toxic. Though Queen Bey and JayZ are seen by many as a Hollywood power couple, they have also had their troubles and toxicity, and they seem to have started back in 2014. It all started when Solange and JayZ got into that big elevator fight at the Met. For a long time, no one really knew what the reason was for this brawl. Some thought it was money, others thought it was family drama, but apparently it was because he had been confronted about an alleged affair he was having with his former business partner's ex-wife. Though no one really acknowledged or spoke about this apparent infidelity, things started to get even more toxic in 2016 after Beyonce released her album Lemonade, where she made several subtle and not so subtle comments on her husband's alleged affair. Of course, instead of talking about it in private, JayZ instead released his own album in response, where he apologized to his wife for his infidelity and addressed some of the issues in their relationship. After all of this music drama, the two of them were able to work through their differences and have sought out couples therapy to rebuild their bond. No one knows if this scandal still hangs over their head and if that toxicity is still there, but at least they're trying to work through it civilly. At number 4, Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan. Social media feuds can often bring out the most toxic relationships. Even though they have reportedly been friends for some time, influencers Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan have been caught in a feud after Cole alleged that Tana hacked his social media accounts and tried to sue him for $100,000. Cole called Tana out after sharing a screenshot of a cease and desist text that he was allegedly sent by Tana's lawyer. The text he received essentially warned Cole that he was in violation of a contract that he had signed with Tana and that a breach of contract would subject him to pay $100,000. The contract in question, a non-disclosure agreement, is one that Tana allegedly has her circle of friends sign each year, and so now Cole is apparently in trouble after one of his social media posts violated the terms of said contract. Cole has also claimed that Tana hired someone to hack his social media accounts, where they were then able to delete a number of his his account, like his YouTube channel and Twitter account. Cole has also claimed that Tana has kicked him out of her house, used him for free makeup services, and would even go through his personal belongings when he wasn't home. Even friends who seem happy on the surface clearly have their dark, toxic secrets as well. At number 3, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been the talk of the town ever since their bombshell Oprah interview, and they've been scrutinized for a lot of what they spoke about. One of the biggest things that people have taken away from their interview was their toxic relationship with the royal family. According to sources, one of the most strained relationships is that between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. Meghan and Kate have reportedly been on poor terms for quite a long time, with some sources saying that they haven't spoken to each other in over a year. A lot of people say that things are toxic between the two of them, and this narrative was heightened because of the interview. During the interview, Meghan addressed the public's view on her feud with Kate over Princess Charlotte's dress at Meghan's wedding, saying that Kate made her cry over it. Though they eventually patched things up and Kate apologized, they haven't spoken to each other much, and because of the feud between their husbands, it's added even more strain to their relationship. The royal family clearly has a lot of drama going on these days, and even one of the world's most famous families can have its toxicity. Hopefully, Meghan and Kate can one day patch things up for the sake of being rid of this negative energy. At number 2, Cardi B and Offset. Rappers Cardi B and Offset have had a rocky and toxic relationship. Though they've been together for some time now and they have a daughter together, that doesn't mean that their relationship is all sunshine and rainbows. There have really been a few times where their behavior has opened up a lot of fans' eyes and have labeled their relationship as toxic. Rumors have been a part of their relationship for a while, the most common rumor being about cheating. In September of 2020, Cardi actually filed for divorce from Offset after rumors started circulating that he had cheated on his wife and he had actually gotten another woman pregnant during that time. Fast forward a month to October 2020 and the relationship was patched up after Offset bought Cardi a $300,000 car and a billboard dedicated to her. When Cardi took him back, that's when the internet started talking about how toxic their relationship really was. People were honestly very surprised that Cardi took Offset back even after everything he did to her, with some adding that Offset was using guilt and emotional manipulation to keep her in his life. In response to some fans' comments, Cardi defended her relationship, saying that it wasn't toxic as everyone believes and that she is not in an abusive relationship. Does the fact that she's defending her husband make you think that they are in fact toxic or just misunderstood? Let me know down in the comments. Finally, at number 1, Courtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. The Kardashians have seen their fair share of toxic relationships, obviously, but out of all of them, Courtney and Scott's relationship has to be one of, if not the most toxic. Courtney and Scott have been on and off again since 2006, and even though they've broken up so many times, they can't seem to distance themselves from each other enough. The pair co-parent their 3 kids, but they also cause a lot of drama whether or not they are together. But they've never been completely out of each other's lives, since Scott is also part of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians lineup. Because they've been through so much together, fans continue to ship them, but really, we shouldn't be romanticizing their toxic relationship. In the past, Scott has cheated on Courtney, and even when they were broken up, has said that he's dated other women, specifically those much younger than him, only to make Courtney jealous. Courtney and Scott also struggled with Scott's substance abuse problem, with Court once going so far as to tell Scott that if he didn't get help, she wouldn't allow him to see their kid, and for a long time, Scott refused to get help. Things finally ended for good in 2015 when Scott was accused of cheating with one of his exes and Courtney just had enough of his infidelity. From that point, they haven't been in an official relationship, but they haven't kept their distance either. Courtney has made comments about having another kid with Scott even though they aren't together, and Scott has been very vocal about how heartbroken he is to see Court in a new relationship. Bottom line here is that they are toxic and that we have to stop giving into them.
Kicking off our countdown list, number 10 is Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. He was a backup dancer and a rapper when he first met Britney, and after only 3 months of dating, the two of them went and got married, which seemed to do more damage than good to their relationship. Their marriage was not long, it only lasted 2 years, but it was a difficult 2 years for them. Kevin was accused of abandoning his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Shar Jackson, to date the famous and wealthy Britney Spears, who he also had 2 children with during their very short marriage. Their marital problems got so bad that Britney filed for divorce in 2006, citing irreconcilable differences. From there, the two of them had a very vicious battle for custody of their 2 children. Initially, they both filed to have sole legal and physical custody of the kids, but the courts ruled that that Kevin should have full custody. On the night of January 3rd in 2008, police were called to her residence as she was refusing to give up her children, who she locked in a room with her. Britney went through a very personal, rough patch in her career, which we all saw, but she did manage to get her life back on track and is able to co-parent in the end. Rolling into number 9 is Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom. Their love story moved very fast, which many people were concerned about when it first happened. Back in 2009, they shocked everyone when they announced that they got hitched after just 3 weeks of dating. You literally don't even know someone after 3 weeks. How are you possibly getting married? They were married for 4 years before the divorce papers were submitted and things got really hectic. The world soon learned that Lamar was struggling with substance abuse and had been unfaithful to Khloe on more than one occasion. Despite being on her family reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, somehow they were able to hide the fact that he had been going in and out of rehab centers. Things took a really bad turn when Lamar had a near-death experience and was found unconscious inside of a brothel. It is then that we learned he had been cheating on Khloe more than we realized, and that his addiction was a lot more serious than anyone knew. Khloe officially filed for divorce on December 13th, 2013, and the two of them have since moved on with other people. Swiping the number 8 spot is Eminem and Kim Ms. Reports say that Eminem and his ex-wife Kim were actually married twice. The first time being from 1999 to 2001, and then briefly down the road in 2006. They seemed like a match made in heaven at first, dating for over a decade and having a beautiful daughter together. The two of them actually met at a house party when they were just kids. She was only 13 and he was 15, so they were together before Eminem made a huge name for himself. They actually dated all throughout high school, so when they got married it was really cute because they had the whole high school sweetheart story. But after he became famous, their relationship only ever made press for very negative reasons. It became publicly known that both of them had been disloyal to one another throughout the relationship, and that they both were dealing with substance problems. After they split, sources said that the two of them would fight often and that their fights would get pretty nasty. Eminem also wrote his epic rap called Kim, where he describes what he wishes he could do to her now, and it's very disturbing. You should go listen. Up next, number 7 is Chris Brown and Rihanna. They seem like the music industry's perfect power couple, and from the outside looking in, everything seemed like it was a perfect love story. That was until one fateful night in 2009 when the horrific news broke that he had left her bruised and bleeding after an argument. Rihanna even testified against him in court, which is why fans were so surprised when they tried to give their relationship another shot a few years down the road. After the altercation, Chris was arrested and sentenced to community service and domestic violence counseling. He openly talked about his low point in the relationship and called himself a monster for what he did. But he also admitted that she got physical with him too, and that oftentimes all their arguments turned to violence, whether it was scratching, slapping, pushing, basically everything. So obviously the relationship was extremely toxic, and it was probably for the best that they went their separate ways. Coming in at number 6 is Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. Their relationship wasn't long, but it was probably longer than it should have been. They dated from 2016 to 2017 and even got engaged and had a baby girl together during this time. We got to know them as a couple through their own reality TV series called Rob and Chyna, and anyone who watched it could tell that it was a very toxic relationship. The two of them fought all the time and also had a lot of trust issues with each other. The show only lasted 1 season, because their relationship only lasted 1 season. Their breakup was a really nasty one as well. She moved out of their home and Rob went online and started attacking her, even posting some of her nude photos for the world to see. After that, they got into a very nasty custody battle, but they did go their separate ways for good, still co-parenting their daughter Dream. I love to see the co-parenting at least. At least. Freaking least you can do if you bring the child in this world. Halfway through at number 5 is Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Their relationship is famous for being on and off again, and we all know that any relationship that is known for that is probably a toxic one. Their relationship was a fairy tale love story at first, and many fans thought they were going to be together forever. I legit thought they were going to get married. But they were on and off for a total of 6 years, which is a long time for two people to try and figure out if they were going to work or not. People were surprised to see them spending time together in paparazzi photos, and the two of them were apparently trying to make things work. But then, just a few months later, bam, Justin Bieber is married to Hailey Baldwin. That is when Selena Gomez released a single called Lose You to Love Me, where her lyrics talk about their past relationship, where she said he moved on and replaced her in 2 months. So people are pretty positive that she was referring to his marriage with Hailey. Justin seems really happy and in love with his new wife, and Selena is healthy and happy living on her own, as far as we know. At number 4 is Courtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. I have 3 Kardashians on this list, and I don't know if that is a good thing or not. Anyone who followed the series Keeping Up with the Kardashians would have seen the ins and outs of their relationship, which was filled with a lot of highs, but also a lot of lows. They started dating back in 2006 after they met at a house party. They dated for almost 10 years, and during that time they welcomed 3 children into their life. But throughout these years, Scott was struggling with an alcohol addiction and was often accused of being unfaithful. It wasn't until 2015, when he was caught in a cheating scandal, that Courtney finally called it quits and they went their separate ways. They both went on to date other people, but there were times when they were trying to see if they could make it work, but it just wasn't. In recent times, rumors are saying that they might be back together right now, or they're at least trying to be, but nothing has been confirmed. It is a lot of on and off, and we can only imagine how hard that is for the kids, especially because they've dated other people, so they're just bringing other people into the kids' lives, you know? Could be a very messy situation. In the 3rd spot is Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I think their $100 million lawsuit is enough proof that their relationship is a toxic one. We have learned a lot about the relationship because of it, with each of them bringing forth different evidence against the other, most of their claims being pretty disturbing. Some of their claims have involved domestic violence, alcohol addiction, substance abuse, and apparently Amber pooping on their bed as a funny prank. The lawsuit has been going on for years, and it keeps getting more toxic as time goes on. Amber's reputation has been completely destroyed online, and now she is wanting to sue Johnny and his legal team, claiming that they hired bot accounts to attack her social media pages. The court dates are also now affecting Johnny's film schedule, which he signed a legal contract for, so he might end up in a Warner Brothers lawsuit by the end of all of this. Taking over the 2nd place spot is Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. The Baywatch star was only married to him from 1995 to 1998, but during their brief relationship, things were less than ideal for them. At the time, they were a rock and roll love story for all ages. They both admit that it was love at first sight for them, but their relationship was a dramatic roller coaster that came crashing down. Despite the issues, they had 2 kids together, which Pamela said was a decision that they made out of true love at that time. But she also admitted that Tommy had often mistreated her and that the relationship was very dark, so they decided to split after just a couple years. Their split caused issues down the road, with their sons feeling torn between them. In March 2018, one of their sons, Brandon, allegedly punched Tommy in the face and knocked him unconscious after he posted a derogatory tweet about his mom. So the family dynamic was very toxic even after the relationship came to an end. Brandon was in the recent The Hills reboot reality series, and he talked about his parents, and he also revealed that he and his dad have been working on their relationship. We've made it to number 1, and we have Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. One of the biggest love stories of all time, but mainly because there's always been a lot of controversy surrounding their relationship. They got married on February 24th, 1992, just 2 years prior to Kurt's tragic death. They were only dating for months before they decided to tie the knot. But then the tragic news broke that Kurt was found dead in his Seattle home with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Reports say that the relationship was a lot more toxic than anyone knew, and that Courtney was the one who introduced heroin to him, which was the start of a very self-destructive lifestyle and relationship. Many people have come up with the theory that she actually had something to do with his death. She claims that all he wanted to do was play his guitar at home and do heroin, and that he had attempted suicide on more than one occasion. But others think that it was part of her plan because she was given more than $50 million after getting a stake in the publishing rights of Nirvana's music.
Starting off our list at number 10 today, we have Beyonce and JayZ. Back in January of 2015, Beyonce and JayZ had anything but a quiet sushi night as the megastar couple was captured getting into it at Sushi Park restaurant in Los Angeles. In released photos, Beyonce could be seen yelling at her husband. And later, OK Magazine would then speculate that the altercation happened because JayZ's non-stop cell phone use during dinner. However, like many mysteries and the fact that the couple usually tends to keep their private life, pretty private, no one can say for sure what the two may have been arguing about. However, this wouldn't be the couple's first public fight, since back in 2014, the couple had an infamous elevator incident that first brought potential difficulties in their relationship to light, and both have explored marital conflict in their albums 444 and Lemonade respectively. But it seems like all is well now as they continue to gush about each other in interviews, and back in 2017, JayZ also said he was really proud of the art Beyonce was releasing, and he also noted that she was amazing. Coming in number 9, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. Just before Emma Roberts and Evan Peters split for good, the American Horror Story co-stars in 2013 were caught on camera while they had a pretty serious physical fight. While it may have seemed at the time that the two were actually a perfect couple in Hollywood, it was anything but perfect. When the two stars started to make headlines after they had a pretty public fight in Montreal, the New York Daily News would then report that the Montreal police had to attend to the scene after people called in a domestic situation. When the police showed up to the couple's hotel room, they would find Evan with a handful of injuries, which included a bloody nose and a bite mark. The police then opted to arrest Emma on the scene, even after Evan chose not to file charges against her. Although Emma was released, the paparazzi would then capture her breaking down when she learned the news had reached the media. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth posed at the LA premiere of the Avengers Endgame in 2019, their red carpet smiles didn't last too long, as the two widely displayed their different styles and tensions between them were pretty palpable. When Miley couldn't stop talking about how she wanted to let her hair down and have a crazy fun night out, Liam was there to support his brother Chris and was hoping to have a fairly chilled evening. And it appears neither of them would end up leaving the red carpet happy at the end of the night, as Miley did Miley, as she was seen vamping it up for photographers, and her Aussie actor hubby at the time grew increasingly uncomfortable, resulting in the famous duo getting into their first major fight as a married couple. And you could even see Liam at one point on the red carpet telling Miley to behave. After the two then walked off the red carpet, Liam would then angrily accuse Miley of turning the premiere into the Miley show, and once the couple got home, a source would then reveal that they got into a big fat argument. And then jump to the day, Miley wrote a song called Flowers that highlights their relationship and how it was never perfect. And it's been number 1 on the billboards for the last 3 weeks, and she even took a jab at Liam in the music video by wearing the suit he wore that night on the red carpet. At number 7, we have Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Before Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck decided to go their separate ways, the world was pretty shocked to learn that their marriage was anything but perfect. While there were plenty of rumors in 2015 that suggested Ben had been unfaithful in their marriage with the family's former nanny, after the couple returned home from vacation, a fight would break out shortly after, and this is when they dropped their 3 children off at school. Onlookers would then tell In Touch that Jennifer and Ben were in their SUV when things started to get a little out of hand. They even started to claim that there was lots of gesturing through it all, and the photos and videos captured, you could see Jennifer crying. This is when people started to believe that Ben was making it clear that their marriage was over and that he was going forward with the divorce. Number 6, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. At one point in time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were Hollywood's it couple, and you couldn't turn around without seeing them mentioned somewhere in the street. But it seems like after the couple filed for divorce and went their separate ways, they have been hitting headlines for some pretty serious accusations. Before the couple ultimately decided to part ways, they would be spotted
spotted at Legoland in Windsor, and they would be spotted coming off this ride with their children, and the couple could be seen getting into a pretty serious argument where Brad would be shown touching Angelina's arm before she pulled away and decided to shout in the actor's face while they were in public. The people who captured the photos then said they saw the couple again later, and they looked like they were still arguing sometime later. Number 5, Channing Tatum and Jenna Darwin. While it seems to be a trend of couples meeting on the set of movies and getting together and becoming couples, Channing Tatum and Jenna Darwin were no exception, as the pair started dating shortly after they worked together on the iconic dance movie Step Up. Although it looked like things were going extremely well for the pair, they would show the world that there were signs that things were off for months before they announced their divorce. Jenna would even open up about the couple's last months together in their relationship in her book. This is when she would claim that the two were only hurting each other by staying together. Also leading up to the couple's divorce, the couple were often seen sharing words out in public before heading out and getting snapped by the media in several photos. And after the public arguments, it would seem like Jenna would rather look at her cell phone than talk to Channing. Number 4, Blueface and CA Rock. Lately it seems like Blueface and his girlfriend Shawn keep making headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you've been online for the past few months, then you probably have seen the viral videos and tweets of the rappers going viral with the rise of the couple's reality show Crazy in Love. However, while some users view the relationship as entertaining, I think we can collectively agree that their relationship is pretty toxic, as we have seen the two enter into some pretty concerning altercations. The problem with the two is not only that the relationship is dangerous, but it's also harmful for the immediate parties around them. While it seems like Shawn is the main reason behind the couple's toxic relationship, she would go into an interview to come out to address the public's concern about her relationship by saying, "We're just here learning, figuring things out. We met each other how we met each other, but that's it." However, now that Shawn has announced her pregnancy with Blueface, things are only going to get more messy going forward, and that's what is the most concerning part for their fans watching. Number 3, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. Like any couple, it's no secret that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have endured their fair share of issues throughout their relationship. After all, Keith has used some of their disagreements as inspiration for his songs. While the couple often tends to keep their disagreements away from the media, back in 2016 when Nicole was captured giving her husband a look that no husband wants to see, the internet would go into a frenzy while they tried to figure out what happened. The confrontation would happen when they were at a movie premiere. Insiders would then tell the Daily Mail that things took a turn when Keith got upset over the couple's very busy schedules as they had spent the year apart. Apparently, Keith wanted to return to Australia to be with their family, but Nicole, on the other hand, was just really sick of Keith sulking about them being apart, and she just wanted him to be with her and support her career. Number 2, Rihanna and Chris Brown. Back in the day, Rihanna and Chris Brown had a relationship that made us all raise our eyebrows. Eventually, during their relationship, after headlines started to show that Chris got into a physical altercation with Rihanna, he would eventually be arrested and charged, and eventually the stars would also call off their relationship. Just before, the couple was at a pre-Grammy party when they started arguing in a car. Later, Rihanna would then open up about the altercation in an interview with Diane Sawyer. There, she would claim that their altercation started after Rihanna saw a text from a girl on Chris's phone. Rihanna then said that she knew he was lying and that he knew he had nowhere to turn. However, Rihanna would then go on to note that there had been warning signs that something bad was going to happen long before the incident. Apparently, the more the couple fell in love, the more they both started to realize how dangerous they were for another. Today, Rihanna has used her experience to help other young women going through similar situations. Number 1, Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf. Just before Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf decided to split, they had quite a habit of getting caught on camera having these really public fights. Just before the two started dating, Shia actually met and fell in love with Mia Goth on a set of their movie, and eventually they decided to walk down the aisle. While the couple has now gone on their separate ways, they were involved in some pretty high profile and public fights while they were in Germany. In a viral video in 2015, the two could be seen screaming screaming at each other. The footage in that video would then show Shy walking away from the scene and getting into a car as he explains that he didn't want to hurt Mia. Then a source would confirm that apparently when Mia tried to talk to Shy again, he would then respond to Mia by saying he was being pushed and he didn't want to be aggressive. Coming at number 10, we have Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott have one of the most toxic relationships Hollywood has ever seen. While the popular A+ reality TV star has built an empire of her own, she truly deserves better, as Travis has been cheating on her since they got together. It seems like Travis has really no respect when it comes to Kylie, and that he uses her to get a rise on his own career. Inside sources have also accused Travis of taking out his bad days on Kylie, and all Kylie does is spend a lot of her nights crying because of her insecurities, and now no matter what she does, Travis still goes and looks elsewhere. While the couple has been on and off since their daughter Stormi was born, after the holidays, a source would confirm the pair has now split up once more, and they'll probably get back together again. While Kylie is focused on her kids and her business, she isn't a big partier. However, Travis is a direct opposite, as he likes to party, and they seem to have very different focuses. He also tends to lash out at Kylie anytime cheating allegations rise. At number 9, we have Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Well, it seems like Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth are officially over and there's no chance of the two ever getting back together. But can we just take the time to talk about flowers for a second? For years, people have blamed Miley's behavior for being the destruction of their relationship, and even Liam's family has said some crazy things about her. But when Miley released Flowers, it would tell a different story, and can I just state, the way she shaded Liam Hemsworth is effing iconic. Not only did the song come out on January 13th, which happens to be Liam's birthday, but Miley would leave us some huge Easter eggs that explored her relationship with Liam Hemsworth. Based on fan theories, the lyrics of the song can be viewed as a response to Bruno Mars' When I Was Your Man, which Liam had supposedly dedicated to Miley on their wedding day. Others theories pointed out Liam Hemsworth's infidelity, when fans pointed out the vintage YSL gold dress was a reference to Jennifer Lawrence. The helicopter is a callback to Amanda Bynes, and the shooting location itself is the mansion where Liam brought 14 women to in order to cheat on Miley. Miley can also be seen wearing a black suit in the music video, which has been linked to Liam Hemsworth's suit during the Avengers Endgame premiere, when the Australian actor told her to behave for once. And not to mention, one of the dance moves Miley does can be linked back to a red carpet moment when Liam moves away from Miley when she's dancing up to him, which proves that their relationship was pretty toxic. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. It's clear that Khloe still has deep love for her serial cheater ex-boyfriend Tristan Thompson, and it seems after the passing of Tristan's mother, we may see the couple get back together soon, until he cheats again. In an interview with The Sun, Joe Hemmings would suggest that the reality TV star may be getting back together with her ex-basketball player boyfriend despite his multiple infidelities, by saying Khloe has unconditional love for Tristan and wants to maintain a close relationship with him. They have 2 children, so supporting him through a difficult time comes naturally to her. But while she's secretly devoted to Tristan, he needs to wake up and keep his desires and impetuous behavior in check in order to give this another chance. While Khloe is no way an opportunist and comforting him after his mom's passing, but she knows that he'll appreciate her support immensely. Number 7, we have Blueface and Chrisean Rock. To say Blueface and Chrisean Rock's relationship is most out of control toxic relationship we have ever seen would be an understatement, as it seems like Rock is just off her rocker lately, and now she's pregnant and claiming it's Blueface's baby. And the things between the pair are about to get even more messy. However, shortly after Rock announced her pregnancy to Blueface, he would take to his social media to deny the claims. He would also demand a paternity test to be conducted, as he's officially done with Rock and their on and off again romance. But at the end of the day, Rock is still sticking to the script and claiming Blueface is her man. While Blueface claims the baby isn't his, and Rock has been with 10 other men this year alone, Rock would also suggest that he's just being a clown, and she would also say he was just mad because she went on a trip and didn't message him for 24 hours and he thought she was was with another man. But just after their split, Rock's announcement of being pregnant, she would then be captured on a video fighting two girls in the street while she tried to get Blueface into her car. Number 6. Christian Bell and Dax Shepard. When Christian Bell and Dax Shepard first met, the two had a pretty toxic relationship. Christian would even say, "First year, you are working your kinks," and I loved it. We'd get in a fight because we would fight a lot, and I'd yell something, then I slam the bedroom door, and then I slam the front door, and then I get into my car and I skid out of the driveway, and I would sit around the corner in my car, and it felt so good. And then I realized how incredibly toxic it was only after he pointed it out. Christian then said that they overcame the issue when Dax put his foot down and told her she couldn't leave in the middle of a fight. Long before the couple actually became the Hollywood it couple, Dax would also sit her down to say that he couldn't have a relationship with her right now because he was dating Christian for 3 months and thought she was wonderful, but then also he was still dating other people. This would lead Christian to feel liquefied, but she respected that he had the balls to tell her that they weren't in the same place. Thankfully, Dax would quickly realize that his now wife was the one, and he would confess, "I don't know what I was thinking. I was dating someone else, but they're just not as interesting as you, and I don't know what I'm doing." However, Belle hasn't let him off the hook and still reminds him from time to time that he broke up with her from time to time. Number 5. Behati Prinsloo and Adam Levine. For the Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine, it took dating someone else to realize that the Victoria's Secret model Behati Prinsloo was the one. But even today, their relationship still seems as toxic as their relationship was when they first started dating, considering Adam keeps cheating on his wife and even told one of his mistresses that he was going to name his child after her. Following the couple's brief breakup, Adam broke it off with fellow Victoria's Secret model Nita Agdel, who he had been dating at the time before he promptly proposed to Behati. On The Tonight Show in 2013, Adam would even say, famous last words, "I'll never get married. I still don't necessarily think you have to get married unless you meet someone that makes you want to marry them. And then when you marry them, it's wonderful." Well, Adam would then end up marrying Behati in 2014 and proceeded to have 2 children with her. That hasn't stopped him from being a womanizer and creating a toxic relationship for the pair to try to fix. Number 4. Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin. The longtime love between Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin experienced a bit of a roller coaster in the summer of 2022, and the two would even announce their plans to divorce in late August. While the rumors started to speculate that Sylvester left his wife Jennifer after she told him not to get a dog, and he got it anyways, he would then replace the photo of his wife tattooed on his arm to a picture of the dog that he adopted. However, in a statement with People after Jennifer filed for divorce, Sylvester would say, "I love my family. We are amicably and privately addressing these personal issues." Fast forward to 1 month later, Sylvester would reconcile with his wife, who hates the new dog, after they decided to meet up at the home and talk through their differences. And now they both seem extremely happy. Well, that's for now until the dog makes Jennifer mad again. Number 3. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Formerly one of the world's most public couples, the pair called off their engagement in 2004, and Ben would move on with Jennifer Garner before making a slew of disses towards Jennifer Lopez. Then fast forward to 17 years later, it seems like the once toxic couple put aside their differences and realized that they were meant to be together after all, as they were now back on and going stronger than they have ever been. Rumors of Jennifer and Ben's relationship first ignited in late April when they were spotted outside of her LA home following her split from Alex Rodriguez. And 2 years later, they enjoyed a getaway to Montana where they were photographed on a romantic drive together on May 8th. By April 2022, Ben and Jennifer would announce that they were really meant to be together this whole time, and then they would announce that they were once again engaged, and in the summer of 2022, they would get married twice. Number 2. Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. The UK X Factor judge opened up about her relationship status on her talk show, The Talk, putting an end to the speculation that she and her estranged husband had reconciled following the split that came about after the infidelity rumors that plagued the couple. Considering Ozzy is a rock and roll legend, their relationship has always been filled with some pretty toxic things. After all, he is the guy that bit off the head of a bat when he thought it was fake while performing. While Sharon has gone on to say that she does forgive the rock legend for his infidelity, she would also say, "It's going to take a long time to trust, but we've been together for 36 years, 34 years of marriage. I can't think of my life without him." With that, she would also add a little levity and would call Ozzy a dirty dog for saying that he's gonna pay big time, but considering the wild career he has had and the pretty questionable things he has done, he's already paid big and there's nothing really that can face him at this point. And coming in number 1 today, we have Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Well, Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber seem to be happily married. Before they tied the knot in 2018, Justin and Hailey had to work through a couple of bumps in the road as their relationship has been pretty toxic, considering Justin wasn't able to let go of his ex, Selena Gomez, just yet. Also to Justin, at first Hailey was this crazy fan who he was introduced to by her uncle, Alec Baldwin. Before the couple's first split, they briefly dated in 2016, and after they called it quits, they went through this really long period where they couldn't even be friends anymore, which is understandable because he got back with Selena Gomez. However, by 2018, when Justin was officially over Selena, the pair would then be spotted packing on the PDA, and then by the next month they would announce their engagement, and then they even got married twice, the first one being in a courthouse in New York City, and the second time was this beautiful ceremony in South Carolina surrounded by family and friends. But it doesn't quite seem like the couple is fully out of the rocky waters just yet, as they seem to have this really strong tension between the two, and some fans are guessing how long this couple might actually stay married for, and who knows who Justin might just jump back to if they do end up getting a divorce. Selena.
Number 10. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. One fateful night in October 2021, Kim Kardashian hosted Saturday Night Live and starred alongside Pete Davidson in a sketch parodying Aladdin. While the two may have played lovers on stage, even sharing a brief kiss during the scene, the romance continued long after the curtains were drawn, as Kim claimed the kiss gave her a little zing. And a month later, her and Pete started being regularly seen together in public, and eventually revealing that they were in fact dating for about 9 months. They were traveling, they were shopping, and raising Northwest, Kim's daughter. Pete even got a tattoo at one point to show his loyalty to the family union, which sounds hardcore for some, but for Pete it's just another Tuesday. All of this is coming off the heels of Kim's recent divorce from rapper Kanye West, which left the three as targets of a media frenzy, and having every moment of their drama posted online for the world to see. After 9 months, the couple split and Pete started dating someone new, but that didn't last very long, as at this year's Met Gala, Kim and Pete had a reunion on the red carpet, and Pete was reportedly seen staring longingly into Kim's eyes as they spoke about their feelings, and he spoke about nothing but vibes between the two. That's cute. But these two getting back together is definitely in the near future. Here's hoping that it's 10 months this time. Number 6. MGK and Megan Fox. Megan and Machine first met in March 2020 on the set of the indie thriller Midnight in Switchgrass. The production was shut down after 2 weeks because of, the world at the time, but long after the camera was cut, the two were still keeping in touch, spending a majority of their downtime together and developing a solid relationship, sort of. You see, Megan was technically married at the time to her husband of 10 years, Brian Austin Green, but was quarantining separately from him. Green posted on Instagram 3 days after Megan's birthday that the pair had in fact been on a break since December of 2019. Their relationship had been rocky from the get-go, being married and divorced twice in 10 years, but that rocky road seemed to lead to MGK as well, as the pair got engaged just under 2 years after meeting. But things took a dramatic turn for the worst in February 2023 when over Super Bowl weekend, Fox suddenly unfollowed MGK's social medias and removed almost all of the photos of them together. She also posted on Instagram, quoting a Beyonce lyric, "You can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath," from the artist's 2016 Lemonade song, Pray You Catch Me. Many fans began speculating that there may have been some kind of cheating situation, or that the pair were simply about to split up and never look back, but Fox eventually deleted her post and revealed to insiders that the pair had a fight over the weekend that left them questioning the relationship. The pair are still very much on and off in terms of their relationship, and while they keep in touch and are still trying to work things out, Megan has stopped wearing her engagement ring, so that can't be a great sign. Number 8. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. The pair first met in 2014 when Cabello, a member of the group Fifth Harmony, and Shawn Mendes were opening acts for singer Austin Mahone on on his tour. They were often seen backstage engaging in intimate conversations, with Cabello claiming that Mendes was one of the only people on that tour that would ever actually come up and say hi to her. Following the tour, the pair kept in touch, sparking relationship rumors that would continue for about 4 years. They would often post videos of themselves covering love songs together, as well as several photos suggesting that they were always going on excursions or just spending a lot of their free time together. But it wasn't until 2019 that the pair would be spotted by TMZ holding hands and kissing in public at a 4th of July party, and the confirmation was clear. They were inseparable for almost 2 years, posting hundreds of photos of their adventures together and an excess amount of PDA as well. Like, guys, calm down. When suddenly in November 2021, the couple announced that they would be ending their romantic relationship, but that their love for each other as humans was stronger than ever. Okay, whatever that means. 3 months later, Camila revealed the breakup was the result of shifting priorities professionally, but maybe a little breather was all they needed, since at Coachella in 2023, they were seen making out, seemingly back together, or possibly stirring a toxic pot of getting back with your ex when you know it's a bad idea. Like don't do it. Just don't do it. Number 7. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. The Smith family has been at the top of the news storm recently after it was announced that Jada Pinkett Smith's Facebook talk show Red Table was being cancelled. One topic that was brought up on the series before its cancellation was the revelation of an entanglement, whatever that means, between Pinkett and singer-songwriter August Alsina during a brief break the couple took in the early 2000s. Pinkett was quick to bounce back though after breaking up with Will, entangling with August, and then eventually getting back with Will to continue their marriage. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows though, as the couple still has marital issues to this day. They've been thrown even further under the bus by their own kids, Willow and Jaden, who have called the pair out on their lack of proper parenting skills and for essentially leaving them to their own devices growing up. Together, Jada and Will carry around a dark storm cloud of negativity and spread it to everyone they interact with. So better bring an umbrella, guys. Number 6. Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson. This bad romance started in the early 1990s when the two first met at a nightclub, and 6 weeks later they flew to Cancun for a weekend getaway of wholesome family fun, I'm sure, only to be married to each other 96 hours later. Their romance quickly soured, however, when they returned to California to find that a scorned electrician, Rand Gunther, who had recently been fired from a job working for Lee, had procured a certain tape. This tape showed the couple being intimate together, and he wanted them to pay. Anderson and Lee filed a $10 million lawsuit to attempt to prevent the tape from being published, but the suit was eventually dropped. The couple have come clean in interviews, saying that not being able to do anything about the tape was adding way too much stress and frustration to their relationship, and the couple called it quits in 1998. They were on and off over the years, with Anderson even briefly being married to musician Kid Rock in 2007, and Rick Solomon, who was a champion poker player, in 2008. Pam and Tommy would eventually get back together towards the end of 2008, but even moving the family back in with Tommy wasn't enough, because the reunion was very short-lived, as the couple would call it quits for good about 2 years later. Number 5. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. J-Biebs and Selena were Hollywood's young golden couple when they first got together in 2009 after being introduced by their managers, following an interview with Justin where he admitted that Gomez was his celebrity crush. It appeared that the feeling was mutual though, as later on that year on New Year's Eve, Justin appeared in Las Vegas serenading Gomez with his song One Less Lonely Girl, and cuddling up as he did it. Initially though, it seemed like Justin was simply viewed as her best friend, seeing as she once said that she felt like Justin's big sister. Well, in 2010, they were spotted together on a date, and the rest is media storm history. Their relationship became the talk of the town. He even rented out the Staples Center just so the two of them could be alone together on a date. Despite the romantic gestures, Bieber had reportedly started cheating on Selena, and they split. But Gomez is a forgiving type, and the pair have continuously been on and off again for nearly a decade. At one point, they even got back together and moved into the same apartment, only to break up again. Like, immediately. Do you guys know how hard it is to rent a U-Haul these days? Number 4. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley admitted to dating her co-star from the film The Last Song in 2010, but the romance has been anything but picturesque. In June of that same year, Miley denied rumors that there had been a split taking place between the pair, but in August, the rumors had been confirmed. The couple was quietly on and off again a few more times before publicly announcing their reconciliation in April 2011. And in 2012, they were engaged, and all seemed to be back on track. But the bad news came in like a wrecking ball as the reports began surfacing of Liam Hemsworth cheating on Miley. Within a few months of the engagement, they announced that the couple had called the wedding off and has since maintained an air of secrecy about their exact relationship. But we have to wonder, does she still got that ring though? Number 3. Courtney Kardashian and Scott Disick. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a historical series in the world of reality television. For over a decade, fans have been able to watch the family grow, both literally and figuratively, with the addition of friends, family, and in this case, lovers. Scott and Courtney's story began where all fairy tale relationships begin, at a famous friend's house in Mexico. In 2006, the pair attended a mutual friend's party at his home in Mexico. A photo from that night shows the two sitting together but nowhere near each other. Disick recounts liking Courtney almost immediately, but that she wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. But something must have changed in between A and B, as the two appeared as a couple on the series premiere of the reality show in 2007. At first, the family was standoffish, claiming that Scott was immature and that his loyalty meant absolutely nothing. Kris Jenner, Courtney's mom, even said in one episode that she knew Scott was cheating on her daughter. She just wasn't sure how to go about the situation. Now, Disick denies those claims and reaffirmed his love for Courtney until he couldn't deny any longer because his sisters, Kim and Khloe, found a series of text messages on an old phone to someone named My Wife. The text revealed he had cheated on her while the family was staying in the Hamptons, and Kim was furious for like a second. A year later, she would announce that the pair were expecting their first child together, seemingly making the whole cheating ordeal water under the bridge. But it didn't stop. Over the years, the couple has split and healed over and over and over, time and time and again, and at one point, Disick even entered rehab with the support of Courtney, and he still cheated on her. In 2015, another round of allegations came out, and they split, only to get back together again, and then split, and then get back together again. And now they have 3 kids, and have been doing a good job as co-parents. But with Courtney now married to a musician, Travis Barker, we've got to wonder, is she gonna pull a Scott on this man? Number 2, Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. In 2015, Gigi Hadid had just split up with boy band singer Joe Jonas and was on the search for a new man that she found in the form of Zayn Malik, a boy band singer. The One Direction singer took an interest in Hadid after standing in on a photo shoot that she was involved with. They spent a lot of time together and became very close. So close, in fact, that in 2016, Zayn would confirm that Gigi was in fact his current girlfriend. They made their first public appearance together at that year's Met Gala, cosplaying as a cyborg knight and the evil witch who rules the land. And not long after, the couple split, only to get back together 5 days later. 5 days. Seemingly back without problems, the couple continued to post lavish lifestyle pics and all seemed well until March in 2018, when the couple announced that they would once again be taking a break. But then the next month, they got back together, and then a month after that, they broke up again. Do you see the pattern here, guys? Take the hint, okay? The universe is clearly telling you something. Number 1, Charlie Sheen and Brooke Mueller. For those who don't know, Charlie Sheen is an actor. You may recognize his face from the show 2.5 Men, as well as his performance in the much-loved Scary Movie franchise. After he met Brooke Mueller, his life would forever be changed. The two got married in May 2008, and Mueller gave birth to a set of twin sons the following year. The couple seemed happy, and family life was on the horizon until the couple got into a heated dispute in Aspen in 2009 and Charlie got handcuffed. He was charged with felony menacing as well as third-degree assault charges and criminal mischief. Now, most of the charges were dismissed and Sheen pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault, so he received a sentence that included rehab, probation, and anger management. The couple filed for a divorce, but that certainly wasn't the end of their public fiascos, as they were constantly seen canoodling together and being romantic, despite the fact that Mueller was herself in and out of rehab as well. Way to define long distance, guys, and toxic.